Troy is an innovator. When he began his company, he was really looking at what would happen. Yeah, it's fine to have other people's products and things like that, but what would happen if I created my own? And he has done that. He has researched and created a brand that tastes good, that gives you a wonderful experience too, but then also is adding some more flavor in what it means to be a Wichita business owner. So he is going to talk to us this morning with the theme and the thought. I sound like a preacher now. Coming from the text. Inspiration by Troy Brooks. Please help me welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I need to turn this one off first? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. I'm actually going to stand on this side because I feel like it's kind of offsetting. So good morning, everybody. So I'm Troy Brooks. As Christina said, we don't judge. So number one, I'm going to kind of start this off by saying I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a tech guy. It's been like 8 years since I've been in school, so the PowerPoint might be a little basic, you know what I mean? So, but again, Christina got my back. We don't judge here, so, I need y'all to understand that. But, so again, I'm Troy Brooks, born and raised here in Wichita, 29 years old. As she said, I'm the CEO, founder of Greatness Vodka. Who in here, by a show of hands, who in here has tried greatness or heard of greatness? Okay, that's what we like to see. We love to see it. Okay, so show of hands, who has not? Okay, we don't like to see that. So I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and get to a liquor store ASAP, but however, I do want to say this, it's not all about Greatness Vodka, but I got to plug this real quick. So what we were able to do, most people that don't like vodka, the reason they don't like it is because the bite, people don't like, look, see, I can see your face right now. So people don't like the bite and the way it burns and stuff like that. So what we were able to do is to create a product. I'm going to actually drop this down. Y'all can still hear me good, right? Yeah. So what we were able to do is create a product to where we can do away with a lot of that. And then we threw some flavors to where you can give it a real smooth finish and it tastes great, So we like to call that greatness, all right? So, all right, here's one of those basic slides, so I need y'all to bear with me. So, but we're going to talk about my story really quick, and we'll start with basketball. So basketball has always been something in my life. It's something that truly instilled hard work in me, thanks to my pops. He was kind of like Joe Jackson back in the day. But, but hey, I appreciate it, though. So I graduated in 2011 from Wichita Southeast, and I played. Yeah, hey, my guy. I played basketball there, 3 years varsity. After that, I went on to play my first 2 years of college at Central Christian College right there. All right, and so we did great. I was sixth man. Sometimes I started, something like that, But honestly, I always had like this burning desire in me to want to still elevate. So at this level, I played at NAI, so I always, I played good and I did my thing, but I had aspirations to want to go further, and I knew if I wanted to go play pro, I couldn't really, it's a business at that point, so I couldn't really stay at this NAIA level unless I was like 7 foot and I'd get noticed. So I wanted to go play Division I or Division II. So after my second year at Central Christian College, and I did make that bucket right there, I just want y'all to know, I transferred to Newman University. They had, at that time, they had recently switched over to NCAA Division II. I went there, but, so I went from one 4-year to another, all right? So it wasn't like I went to a junior college to where I was recruited or anything like that. So I wasn't really on their radar. They knew of me because I'm from Wichita, but they, weren't keeping up with me like that. So I walked on at Newman. Now, if anybody has gone to Newman or know anything about Newman, it ain't cheap. You know what I mean? It ain't cheap at all. But, has anybody ever heard the term of jumping off the porch or jumping and growing your wings on the way down? Anybody ever heard that? I know you have, John. But so that's what I did, though. And so I knew there was going to be some challenges, just like being an entrepreneur. I knew there were going to be challenges, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to just get after it anyway. We'll figure it out because I was following my dreams. However, that was a bad idea. So after my first semester of my junior year, because of financial reasons, and I don't come from like a family with a crazy amount of money. We weren't dirt poor at all, though, but it was just a lot. My mother has a paralyzing disease called multiple sclerosis, so it was just my dad working, things like that. So, it could be tough. So taking on the Newman was not smart. However, this is when my life truly changed. All right, and so part of this story, this is key because I'm gonna bring up these 2 points that I learned throughout this process. All right, so after Newman, I was introduced to a friend of mine named Bobby Wesley. Bobby's like a big brother to me to this day. He introduced me to a company called Worldventures. All right, and so most people would know it from that blue "You should be here" sign. And at this time in my life, basketball was my main focus. And when I got kicked out of school, I really didn't know what to do. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through this transition in life to where you just feel like, what now? All hell breaks loose. One moment I'm in school, getting good grades, working hard, getting better at basketball, have dreams to play pro, and then I don't have nothing the next day. So I didn't know what to do, and I want to be somebody, So that looks like the best opportunity to me. I seen guys making crazy money, being successful, and I was just like, me too. I had the me too attitude. However, as I was going through this transition, my heart was still in basketball, but as you can see, we were having some success. We were doing some things. I had about 350 people come through my business at that point when I was in network marketing, and then boom, I had a baby. And if anybody's a young parent, if you've ever been a young parent, you know how much of a transition that can be. That is not something you're ready for. But granted, my little baby's right here. She's 6 now. So, and I know I should have chose a different picture in pink since she's a girl. But, times was hard, so we just took what we could get, so that was the next thing. And then on this picture right here, this is me when I first launched my business. This is the first video I ever recorded that I was going to put on social media to just announce the launch of it, right? And so in this video, that was a lot of emotion. I was surprised, really, just how far I've came. I didn't really have any help financially starting my business. That was a struggle. I didn't know, I'm not a vodka connoisseur. I wasn't a bartender or anything. So it was a lot that went in right there, right? But throughout this process, well, actually, let me jump back. Throughout this process, there was a couple things that really stood out to me and that I want to leave with you guys today. All right, so the first one is the art of believing. I'm going to kind of jump back because I don't want y'all to cheat. So who in here, I'm going to interact with y'all. Is that okay? Yes. So who in here knows the true steps of believing? Anybody know? So throughout this process, for me, especially when I was in Worldventures, that second picture, this is one of the things I truly had to know, okay? Because it'll take you from here to here. You got to know how to believe. Most people, they don't teach us this in school. Most people don't know how to believe. And I had a mentor that really set me down. He said, hey, Troy, look, if you want to take your life to the next level, you want to get there, you got to know how to believe, all right? So a lot of people, when you think of believing, you think of your thoughts, right? But so let's break that down. What truly invokes a thought? What truly invokes that? It's your 5 senses, all right? So back in the day, I didn't have a car or nothing, all right? I used to always want a BMW. I wanted a 535i, BMW white with the red interior. I used to say, man, when I get that, I'm going to call it cheesecake. That's kind of lame, but, I ain't going to lie. And I drive a Lexus now. It's white with red interior, but this is why this is true. I'm not saying that to flex. A Lexus ain't all that, but I'm just saying. But so your sense of touch, you got a sense of smell, you got a sense of hearing, a sense of taste, and a sense of sight. All right? So what I used to do, my mentor used to say, Troy, you got to live in your future. You got to live in your future. How do you know what it's like? How do you know what you're doing? So I would go to the dealership, and my friend John, he was in the back. I can't see him now, but, oh, there he is. My friend John knows this to be true. We used to walk up to a dealership by my parents' house, and we'd go there for hours, looking at cars, talking about, man, one day, we're going to do this. If they would let me, I would test drive it for sure. Sometimes they like, man, you ain't buying, sorry I wasted people's time, but, I had to go live in my future, right? So I would get in the car. I want to touch the steering wheel. I want to see what that feels like. I want to touch the leather. I would smell, and if anybody had a new car, that new car smells undefeated. So I would get that new car smell, I want to hear the engine going, the Lamborghini and the Honda sound different. You gotta know. So, but I wouldn't encourage somebody to lick the car to taste it. But that's not what I did. But, so let's disregard that part. But, you got to see yourself in it. I would drive in neighborhoods that I would dream to live in. I'm still doing that now. I ain't living there yet. But, I would do those things, right? But why is that important? Because you have to conceive. That's the conceiving part. And once you conceive, now you can truly believe. You know, you don't see the win, but you can feel it. You know it's there. You can believe. And once you believe, now what can you do? You can achieve. You know what I mean? So something I had learned that time is either you train your thoughts and your mind, or your mind and your thoughts will control you. That's how addiction starts, and that's how people get successful. You just got to choose what side of the fence you want to be on, all right? And the second thing that I learned was nothing's given, it's only taken. It's only taken, all right? So you got to understand. This is one of those interactive moments, y'all. Don't make me look crazy now. But, you know, so I'm going to ask y'all a question. When you're hungry, what do you do? I can't hear y'all. When you're hungry, one more time. You eat. When you're hungry, you eat, right? So when you're hungry, it don't matter what nobody says, you got to eat. You know, if you're a parent, if your baby's hungry, by any means necessary, baby got to eat, right? Right? But there's a system to that. There's a method to that. When you're eating, let's say we're eating soup, right? What are you going to use, a fork or a spoon? You're going to use a spoon. So here's one of those lessons. As you're going hard, you know, when you're hungry, you eat. You know, you really turning it up. You really getting after it. That's one thing, but you got to eat it the right way. Who in here, and don't lie, who in here has ever had a friend that's going hard like you, but they hit their success and you haven't had yours, and you kind of like, man, I'm happy for you, but dang, man, I deserve that. Yeah, me too. So, but here's one of those things. Here's one of those things I had to learn because I had other friends in that network marketing company having success. And in my mind, I'm like, I know for a fact they're not going hard like me. They're not doing everything that they need to do. So for me, I was like, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're hitting things that I'm not hitting. But one of those things is when you're eating, you got to eat. And when you eat, you got to eat with humility. You got to cheer other people on when they're achieving the goals that you want while you're down. All right, you got to get your mind right. You know, the most important muscle to work is your brain, not your arms and your abs and all that. It's your brain. And lastly, success loves consistency. You got to be consistent every single weekend. Whether it has to be a good reason for me not to, but every single weekend I'm doing this. Friday and Saturday, religiously, I'm doing tastings. I'm pouring up samples of greatness at liquor stores. I'm giving people a sample. Rain, sleet, or snow. I'm giving that. So the question you got to ask yourself is, how many samples of your greatness are you giving out? How many of those are you doing? Because that was that lesson I learned. So now that I know it's going to be taken, right? Part of that is you got to be ready. You got to understand the opportunity of a lifetime on average passes us 3 times, right? By the time you're 21, on average, it's already passed you twice. If you're not focused on giving out your samples of greatness, you won't see it. You won't see it. So what I'm encouraging everybody to do is to live in your greatness. You got to live in your, not greatness vodka. I mean, go get that though. But live in your greatness. That's the key part here. You know, there's no one or nothing keeping you from your dreams but you. Because what? When you're hungry, you eat. You got to, right? And so here's one of my favorite quotes from Eric Thomas is, everybody has a dream, but not everybody has a grind. Everybody got a dream, but not everybody got a grind. So it's up to you to live in your greatness, do everything right, you know, treat people right, you know, do everything you can to be the best version of yourself. Because why? And that's greatness, right? All right, so that's my time, but I just got to do it one more time. When you're hungry, you eat. Let's eat, y'all. Appreciate it.